In this video, we're going to be talking about order of operations. Your four operations are division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction.
When we're thinking about the order of operations, it's important that we remember what comes first, then next, and last. So we have an acronym, PEMDAS, to help us remember that. The P stands for our grouping symbols, brackets and parentheses. The M stands for multiply, D for divide, A for add, and S for subtract.
When you're doing these in this order, brackets will be the first place your eyes need to go to if they're in there, and then you work within the brackets. Sometimes parentheses will show up inside the brackets, and you always do those first. Multiplying and dividing are of equal importance. That's why they're boxed. You do these in the order they come in the number sentence, from left to right like we read. So if I see multiplication first and then division, I'll do it in that order. If I see division before multiplication, I'll do division first. These have equal importance. The very last operations you do are adding and subtracting. Same thing. They are of equal importance to each other, so if subtraction comes first, I subtract first. But I will never add or subtract before I multiply or divide, because multiplying and dividing come before adding and subtracting in the order of operations. I will tell you that in 6th grade you're going to see it look like this. It is the same idea, except for you are going to be adding exponents in. We are not going to do that in 5th grade, so we do want you just to be aware that when you're in 6th grade you'll see the E pop up.
Let's look at a problem. We have 45 minus 7 times 6. So I'm going to think about my acronym, and I'm looking for parentheses. There are none. So I'm going to move on to multiplication and division. I do see a multiplication sign. That tells me I have to do that part of the problem first. So I'm going to multiply 7 times 6, which is 42. Okay, now I've taken care of that 7 times 6. It's now replaced with 42. The rest of the problem still remains, so I have to still write down my 45 minus 42, which is 3.
All right, let's look at another problem. We're going to go through the order of operations again. And I always put a little thing up at the top so I can just do a little checklist as I go through. I look for parentheses. I don't see any. I look for multiplication. I don't see any. I see some division, so I'm going to do that part of the problem first. 15 divided by 3 is 5. I don't see any other division, so I'm done with that. Then I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem, and I'm going to go through. Adding and subtracting are of equal importance, so I see subtraction first, so I'm going to do that first. 25 minus 6 is 19, and then I have plus 5 still left for a final total of 24.
All right, we have another problem. So in this problem, I do see parentheses. So what that tells me is that whatever's inside the parentheses, I must do first. So I will add 4 plus 3 to get 7. So I've taken care of that part of the expression. Now I'm looking for multiplication. I do have that. So I rewrite the multiply by 6, and I can now multiply 7 times 6, which is 42.
Now look at this problem. It looks very intense, but if you will go through your order of operations, it's really not as difficult as it looks. So we're looking for brackets and parentheses first, and we actually see some brackets. So that tells me ignore this part of the problem and do all of this first based on PEMDAS. So I then see some parentheses, so I'm going to get my parentheses stuff done. I see 3 plus 7, which is 10, and then I see 2 plus 4, which is 6. And then still remaining in the problem is a subtraction sign. I still have to continue on within the brackets. So I have 10 minus 6 equals 4. Once I've done everything in the bracket, I can get the rest of the number sentence and put it back into the problem. So I had that 2 times 4 that I joined back in. My answer for all of this was 4, so 2 times 4 equals 8.
Now we have a few examples for you to work on the student side in your math journal.